Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Director Stream, where we're going on a quest to find insight and turn it into action. This session is all about the insight bit, and the next session is about action. According to a research study, I have the first 5 seconds that you enter a room to convince you that your attention is worth giving to me. So as I bob this agenda slide up and allow you to read the details, I'm hoping that I can make things sound a little bit more nail-biting and dramatic, in the hope that you will give me 30 minutes more of your time. So I'm going to take you on a dramatic data voyage of discovery out of the world of pure imagination. And using the power of dashboards, I'm going to lead us out of the data dark and into the bright lights of hard-hitting facts and decisions. Some may say to data infinity and beyond. Okay, that might be a movie reference a little bit too far. But to interpret all of that, we're going to take a business goal. We're going to use a dashboard to see what we're up against, check if it's realistic or not, make a plan, and convince our stakeholders to join us on the journey to strategic success. But if that doesn't all grab your attention, then we have placed a poll in Slido to tell us the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between when it comes to our product. What do you want to see in our product over the next couple of years? As the product manager for the analyze and campaigning side of things, I would really appreciate if you do tell us what you would like to see by using either that poll or go old school, email us and let us know. Our powerhouse of developers want to develop things that are useful to you. And the lead developers, Si and Robin, who are in this focus group, are also here to answer any questions that you've got or address any wishes that you have when they come in. So thanks very much in advance for doing that. So now I have your attention, let me introduce myself. My name is Liz. I am the product manager for the analyze and campaign side of Apteco, and we are about to embark on scene 1. The arrival of the strategic business goal. Landing on the lap of the business, including the marketing department, is the following strategic goal: to diversify into the European travel industry and become a key player in that sector starting in 2026. Key player definition: a 2% market share by the end of 2026. The business rolls up its sleeves and begins to have a group think. We shall develop a new package holiday and call it We Discover. The commercials and the product are set, and we end this scene with the marketing goal. Establish and promote a new package holiday We Discover, that aimed at holidaymakers who enjoy experiences and discoveries. To secure 5,000 new We Discover European travel bookings during May to September 2026. Right then. Dear Houston, we have a problem. A problem that can be better informed actually of its scale by delving into the data. And this is where our voyage of data discovery begins. So as a marketing department, we can use the dashboard for 3 purposes here. 1, to set the scene, to tell the story of the customer, set a realistic starting target audience, and sense check on what is achievable. 2, to convince internal stakeholders to come along this journey with us. We need to convince them actually that our marketing activity is working towards the goal. And 3, to find out what makes our target audience tick. Not a lot to do though, but as they say, go big or go home. So rather than go home, let's begin scene 2. To start answering this question, we need to tell the story of the customer. So let's start there and take a look at the first dashboard. So this is my dashboard. Welcome to my dashboard. Running along the top of various tabs, as you can see. Come on, kid, you can see it. We're going to start with this dashboard here, which is the first tab. And really, this is all highlighting key stats about the customer. So I have my active customer base, those people who have made a booking with me in the last 2 years. I've got the profit and the average spend. I can then also look at kind of the average spend per customer this year as well. the average number of bookings, which is useful to me because I have a target of 5,000. So I need to know really whether that means that I can rely on one person to make multiple bookings or whether it's one booking per one person. I think we could be conservative here and say that one booking per person. And then we've got our booking profit this year. As we scroll down, we need to focus really on the European travel sector. That's where our proposition is going to land. And so we've got European customers this year, European customers with activities this year as well. And then we've got their profit figures. We've also got the average number of bookings, which again confirms really that one person per booking. And also we've got the average number of activities, and that's useful to us as well. Our proposition is all about excursions and tours. And so to know that people usually or tend to book more activities, so more than one activity per booking, is great. So we can push that a little bit more as we go through this proposition. If I click on Europe and then choose to drill down, we can have a look generally at the activities that people have booked. And so they like maybe a chaperone tour, perhaps, which is a bit boozy, with some fine dining thrown in, and some bird watching. Right. Okay, we could make something of that, I suppose. But we can also have a look at this Venn. And this Venn diagram gives us an idea of where the bookings, so where activities are made, and where those activities span across tour, food and drink, and nature. So we can plump for the middle, basically, of this. And that gives us kind of a more granular detail of what's going on in terms of those particular bookings. It helps us to for our proposition of We Discover. So perhaps we can say that our We Discover is highly organised. It gives you a variety of sort of tours, or you'll travel around the country to see various sites. We might be able to highlight maybe local cuisine, so that we can, because it's obviously quite like food and drink. And maybe we can lean against natural habitat as well, so nature and natural habitat. So we start to kind of build a picture of how we can start to explain what We Discover is all about and its unique selling points that are appealing, I guess, to these particular customers. So let's stop there and we will go back to our PowerPoint. So the first dashboard tab can bring to life maybe the comings and goings of our customer. They start to paint a picture for us. And data transparency is actually a wonderful thing because it puts us on the same page. So we end this scene starting to get to grips with the task ahead. And we realise we could do with some company along the road. We need to bring other departments with us so that our strategic goal can materialise. So we set the next clapper up for scene 3, getting stakeholder buy-in. There are many humans in this loop, all with a different focus and stake in the game, all which want to work towards the goal and are looking towards us as a marketing department to tell them where they fit in. So to secure budget from finance, and as an example, we need to use the data to start to answer the question, is the strategic goal realistic or not? Is it a pipe dream that has been dumped on us like a sack of spuds, or can we achieve it? And to do this, we take what we have now and we try to predict the future. Well, kind of a future that people would be comfortable with taking forward. So we can start to create a starting target audience. And from there, we can run a scenario through, which basically sees whether we would be able to achieve the goal. Where we can achieve the goal, or if we can achieve the goal, then we can ask finance for the marketing budget to communicate to those that target audience. And hopefully they'll sign it off because they see the potential in us being able to achieve that goal. The target audience is also really important to our customer services and operation department. They need to understand how they'll be affected with the increase in demand from our marketing activity. How long will that demand carry on for, and how much resource will they need to be put in at the back of it? We also need to be ensuring that we are contacting people who want to be contacted and that we're contacting them via the channel that they prefer. So legal and compliance will be there in order to check that we're adhering to that sort of contact strategy and GDPR rule. So let's take a look at the dashboard again, and we'll go so far and we'll see each narrative for each of these stakeholders and how we can help them prepare for our marketing activity towards the goal. So if I switch back to my dashboard and we can go to finance. So here we're asking the question, well, is it realistic? And so again, we're showing key stats at the start. So these are new customers this year, new European customers and new European with activities. We get a sense of how much revenue these cohorts are bringing in. And actually, it's quite good that although this is a smaller volume of cohort of people, it's actually coming in with the same average profit for us. So it is lucrative in order to be targeting European and activity customers. We're then going to move and do some scenario planning. So please bear with me on this one. We have 142,000 European customers, 23,000 of which took out activities. So these are our new customers who've taken out activities. With that ratio figure there, it gives us 0.17, so 17%. You can use a number tile in order to reference two audiences or two fast start selections, or a mix, really. But the point is that you can now compare one audience with another and get a proportional figure if you need to. You can add them, you can divide them, you subtract them, you can multiply them, whatever you need. And it's called a calculated measure. So we have our target audience here. We'll apply that ratio and we get 15,000. For that 15,000 though, and there we are thinking that 15,000 will be our We Discover new customers. What about the whole May to September sort of booking that we've got? So let's have a look at 2025, and that relates to these guys here, our 23,000. So if I click on May, June, July, August, and September, apply that and drill down. 10,000 of my 23,000 booked within the time frame I'm interested in, and that equates to 46% here. So taking my 15,000, applying that 46% gives me 7,000. My target is 5,000, so I'm actually going to say that I could achieve this goal using this starting target audience. I am going to achieve this goal by 2,000. I think maybe more, but I can achieve it. So I can go back to finance and I can ask for the budget in order to contact this 90,000, and then more likely through my dashboard and seeing the scenario plan that to sign that off. If I go to customer services and operations, these guys are all about the demand. So how will this marketing activity affect them? So we can take a look at customer segmentation of my target audience to start with. And you can see that they're mostly unpredictable adventurer and explorer, which is a great thing actually, because then maybe they're more likely to try my new proposition. My allocated branch, I have the majority in the South East and the Midlands. However, if I scroll down to my profile tiles, and I'll talk about these in a little bit more detail after, you can see that my target audience is more significant within the Northwest than the rest of my customer base. So although the South East and Midlands may get quite a bit of the target audience, the questioning that they may get might be more general. It might come from other people because they're there as well. Whereas the Northwest seems more significant to my target audience compared to my base, or compared to the rest of the universe, which means that the questions are more likely to be about We Discover if we do our marketing correctly. So I might ask the Northwest to swat up a bit on the questions that I need about We Discover. The other thing we can do is just filter on our Northwest And if I scroll down, you can see the types of activities that resonate or are popular with this particular target audience compared to my base. And that gives me an idea of what scripts or product sheets that that my customer services operations need to have on hand in order to explain to the customers what these particular tours and excursions mean and what they entail. So I think our customer services and operations kind of know what to expect now. Legal and compliance. This is quite a small dashboard, but you can imagine you could expand this to include any preference center stats, for example. So what channel or what source of preference, or when that opt-in was captured, or how long you've had that opt-in for, and so on and so forth. But for me, all I've got is this. And all I'm trying to do is convince legal and compliance that I am going to be thinking about GDPR as I go through this marketing activity. There are various tiles that I've used throughout this. And if I go back to my finance tile tab, I just want to showcase a few of the features on these tiles. The first one is that I can utilize number cards in order to show up and down trends. So that is a compare feature within a number card. And it allows you to basically pick a moment in time, so maybe like this year, and compare it to the same time last year. And my arrows throughout this actually are quite red, which means that my trend is going down. And it might be a good time actually to launch We Discover because of that downward trend. So to get more re-engagement perhaps and get people kind of enticed again with my brand. Other things that I've done along the way as I have showcased this dashboard to you would be the drill down. And the drill down allows you then to make this dashboard more interactive. So when you come to share this dashboard, another person can also interact with your dashboard as well. And finally, through this dashboard, I've also applied tile filters. So here I can choose an underlying filter that particular tile is based on. And I might have another tile which is based on a completely different filter. So it allows you to show kind of key stats within the same dashboard tab, comparing different audiences or comparing different timeframes. So it's a nice way really to get interactive with your dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint and then I will set the scene for the last two tabs. So we have an idea of our target audience. We think the goal is achievable. We've got buy-in from the key departments where their support is actually imperative to the success of this goal. I'm feeling quite chipper at this point. We move on to our final scene. Let's prepare to embark on goal success. And as they once said, if we build it, they will come. Well, no, that's not true at all. In reality, even if we've got the perfect starting audience, how do we convey a message that will make them interested in it? How will we convey a message where they will consider We Discover on their next holiday booking? So let's take a look at the profile tab, as that can help us determine a personalization strategy going forward. So let's have a look at the dashboard again. Introducing profiles to you. Profile allows you to see at a quick glance sort of what makes this target audience tick compared to the rest of my customers. And here, just generally looking then, we can see that they're in the main top income bands, that they mainly take out city breaks. And if I scroll down, that they're in the time-rich segment. There are two types of tiles, if you like, for a profile. There's a summary tile, and that gives you an idea of what data attributes are actually helping you to understand, well, what drives this target audience compared to my base. Once you know that, then you can choose individual profiles in order to see, well, what categories within that particular data attribute is also helping me describe what drives my active customers, in this case, my target audience, compared to the rest of my universe. It also helps personalization. So if I go to have a look at my destination profile, for example, I know which countries resonate the most with this target audience in comparison to everybody else. And so I might want to create content and copy that spotlights really these particular countries and how we discover proposition can be found within them. So I might promote We Discover in Denmark, Germany, and Italy, talking about sort of the bus tours that we can do around the country. We can talk about the local cuisine of that particular country, and we can talk about maybe the natural habitats or nature highlights that we will see. So it helps us really with our copy and our content. If I filter on time rich, and I will filter on city, then I get to understand, well, what are the particular imagery that I might want to use in order to resonate more with my target audience. So I can have a look at my profile activity and I could say, okay, I'll use some boat tour imagery, I'll use fine dining imagery, and I'll use wine tasting, because that might actually entice them a little bit more when they see those particular images. If I reset that, and let's just show an example of a different group of people. I can take a look at my Explorer and my city this time, and I can say the images can change for them. So we'll now lead with wine tasting, fine dining, and, okay, not bird watching, but nature. And there might be a picture of a bird. But it allows me to create some sort of personalization strategy. Like, what do I need? What images do I need to show? What's the tone of voice? What's the copy of that particular marketing activity that will resonate more with my target audience compared to everybody else? And finally, what I'll do is I'll show you the marketing proposition so far. So these are the particular sort of imagery or creatives that I'm going to use for the channels. So we've got social, email, push notifications, branch, and DM, and they will all go towards my campaign. Now, it's really nice to have everything in one place. And if you are going to use image like this, that's absolutely fine. Please don't copy them and paste them into textiles, though, because you will find that images of this size will grind your dashboard to a halt if you copy and paste. What I have done is uploaded these images into an image gallery of perhaps your email service provider or somewhere else, and then reference the URL link. Within the textile, there's a function to do that. And once they're there, then we're just calling them from somewhere else. But once they're there, you can resize them, you can reposition them into whatever you need. But it's just an easier way, and it will stop your dashboard from slowing down, so it remains really reactive. So just a caution on that one if you're going to do that. Okay, so we have our personalization strategy, we think, and we have our creatives. So let me summarize the findings. So we need to use a strategic goal as our guiding light. And using dashboards, we can put data into a narrative that our stakeholders can understand, support, and feel prepared. A clear story allows the organisation to work towards one common goal, and the evidence that we've got here can help contribute towards that goal. So in the end then, we think we can achieve the target. We have a narrative that advises customer services and ops which regions need to swat up and prepare for the demand. We've assured compliance, that we're GDPR compliant, and we're adhering to consent and preference. And we have evidence that will back up a content strategy that we might then start with. So what we need to do now, I guess, well, is get cracking. So we end this reel really with a call out for any questions. And again, please put them in Slido or email us or generate a wish, whatever you want. Just let us know and we will get back to you. Thank you very much.